So to start with, we're going to do a kind of a chicken satay with a peanut butter sauce. We're also going to do pork and turkey dumplings. Now for the vegetarians, I've got some vegetarian options, spring rolls that we're going to do as well. So I'm going to do a main course, I'm going to do a Thai curry. But the curry that I'm going to make in front of you is going to be the vegetarian curry, but it's exactly the same methodology that I would use for chicken curry as well. And this is very, very authentic Thai cookery. Okay, so thank you very much. I have a full block of the frozen lemongrass, which is just as good and potent and fragrant as a fresh one. So if you can't get it fresh, buy it frozen, and it's brilliant because it's actually much easier to use and it's chopped up really finely as well. Another really key important and component to Thai cookery are kaffir lime leaves. And this is what kaffir lime leaves look like. Generally speaking, you can only get them in the Asian market and they're frozen, okay? You can pass these around as well. Now, peel the leaf back so you actually have that little bit of raw. If you're doing it in a curry, you can put the whole thing in, but then fish them out afterwards because they're actually quite woody and they're not very nice as a whole leaf. So just bear that in mind as well. I'm using cod for this recipe. Okay, so this is for my fish cakes, my Thai fish cakes. I'm going to make a double portion today, so I'm using 600 grams of fresh cod. If you go into your fishmonger or supermarket, get them to pin it and skin it. Pin it means you take all the bones out. Skin it, you take the back skin off the cod as well. If somebody encourages or suggests that you should buy frozen fish, don't. Main reason being, it blows up like candy floss when you cook it. Normally, the bones run down through the center vein of the piece of cod. Now the next thing to go in there is my curry paste. Now I'm using a moi poi. This is like, you get this from the mai poi from most of the Oriental markets. This will last 2 years in the fridge, okay? The recipes I give you are foolproof. Everything is tested and double tested, so you can't go wrong. So I've got 2 eggs in here, and that's really just to bind it together. 1, 2. Now I'm also putting in here a little bit of fish sauce. So I'm going to put my fish sauce in there as well. Now I'm also going to put some lime juice in there. Now when you're using lime, with the palm of your hand on a chopping board, is just to juice it, and that actually brings out all the juice. The juice of 1 whole lime in there. And again, as I said, these are very, very delicate flavors. Only ever use sunflower or vegetable oil. If you use olive oil, you're going to taint the flavor of the recipe that you're doing. So only use vegetable oil or sunflower oil. This is rice wine vinegar. You can get that in the Asian market as well. What I did is I actually brought to the boil 150 milliliters of the rice wine vinegar. And I'm also going to use some garlic, and I'm going to use some ginger as well. I'm going to mix that up, and I'm going to put some shallots into it as well. And that's a really beautiful relish to use. My eyes started to blow up. So just be really careful when you're handling chili, just to wash your hands thoroughly beforehand. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some garlic into this. I find if you're cutting up garlic or ginger, it can be quite stringy. So to avoid that, put it through a microplane. Okay, teaspoon in there, teaspoon and a half in there. Garlic. I've got some garlic here as well. Now, I buy garlic commercially, okay, so I better get it in big bags like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of my knife, and with garlic, you know, sometimes when you cut a garlic in half, you have a kind of, sometimes you might have a flower growing in the middle of it. If you do, take it out because it's quite rancid. These are quite fresh. I'm going to use the back of the knife because I want texture. You could use some garlic paste in this if you wished, but for tonight I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the back of my knife and crush it into it. So that's going to go straight in here as well. I'm going to mix that up. And that then is going to be our cucumber relish. And we're going to serve that with the fish cakes. So just to recap, we've got rice wine vinegar, we've got our cucumbers, I've got chili pepper, I've got minced ginger, and I've got garlic in there as well. I'm going to put some lemongrass. I'm going to put some chili pepper in there as well. So we're going to crush our lemongrass. And this is for making the stock. That's going to go straight in there. I'm just going to chop up my chili in there as well. And I've got my galangal, and that's going to go in there as well. Really important when you're doing a curry to use potatoes. because potatoes have starch and that thickens it. I don't use any other thickening agent when making a curry. The curry I made earlier today, I've got loads of potatoes in there. And you get an idea of the smell.
Yum, yum.
Oh, wow.
Okay? The chicken satay, okay? Anybody ever done chicken satay before? Okay, really, really simple, very, very straightforward. These are the chicken pieces. You want to give these at least 8 hours. And in there, I've got soy sauce, I've got honey, I've got Tabasco sauce, I've got ginger, and I've got garlic. Okay, so that's been sitting there. I did that at about 10 o'clock this morning. In fact, I didn't drag myself out of bed until 10:30, so it was about 11 o'clock this morning I did that. But again, we've got lovely flavour in there. So for the peanut butter sauce, I'm going to use tinned peanut butter, or sorry, just from the jar. I'm then going to add my other ingredients into that with coconut milk, and we're going to spice it up a little bit. Straight in there. Now I'm going to add, as I'm doing that, I'm going to add my vegetables into my curry. So that's my chicken curry there, and I'll keep this for the vegetarian curry. Okay, that's fine. Can you get the smell of that? It's kind of subtle, but it's not overpowering. It's lovely. And we're going to fry those off, and then we're going to serve that with the peanut butter sauce then. I'm going to put some Worcester sauce. So we've got our peanut butter. We've got our Worcester sauce. I've got a hot sauce as well, or you can use a Tabasco sauce. Straight in there. I'm going to use a little bit of my ginger paste here, a garlic paste. Straight in there. I'm also going to use some of my ginger paste, just to give it an extra little bit of a kick. Okay. There we go. Now I'm actually going to use some real chili pepper in here as well, because I think that gives it lovely texture and it also gives it lovely colour. Now the other flavour that's going in here, I'm going to use some sesame oil. A little bit of sesame. Now be very careful when you're using sesame oil, it's really strong. So just use, I would suggest, about ½ tablespoon in there. That's all you want. Otherwise it's going to be too overpowering. Now I'm also going to put some soy sauce in there. I'm going to add some cinnamon sticks into that as well. So straight in there with our cinnamon sticks, and I've got my bag of frozen kaffir lime leaves, and that's going to go straight into my vegetable curry here. About 3 cloves of garlic in there as well, 4 cloves of garlic, and that's going to be my stock. And I might put a little bit more of this lemongrass in there as well. So that's just an infusion. The easiest way, if you're making up a marinade or anything like that, keep it in the bag and add your ingredients into it, and then just massage it through and mix it, and that'll actually come together. So in here we've got our pork mince, we've got our turkey mince. I'm going to put some soy sauce into there, and I know by visual, you know, how much to put in. So I'm going to use some of my rice vinegar, not a huge amount of it. Water chestnuts are lovely. I'm going to dice those up. I'm going to cut them up in my machine there. So straight in here with our garlic. Okay, so leave that down there. My rice is cooking away here as well. I've got a lovely rice cooker. So one more stock cube and then we'll be fine. We've got lovely aromas and flavours. And that should come together nicely. And then I'm going to start that from scratch, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So those are our pork and turkey dumplings. We want a little bowl of water. We want a teaspoon, and I have this little contraption here, which is for crimping dumplings. With your pastry brush, water around the outsides, just like so. You're going to crimp it, and you've got a perfectly shaped dumpling. So we just want to get that going. So in there, the curry paste. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon of curry paste in there. I'm going to get that going. So there's plenty of heat in there. And this is how you're going to start the curry off to do it properly. And I'm going to gradually add my stock, like so. I'm going to put some more of my cinnamon sticks. And I'm going to put another bit of lemongrass in there as well. I'm also going to put more kaffir lime leaves in there. So in with our cinnamon sticks. 1, 2. And then we're going to add our vegetables. So straight in here with our vegetables. And I'm going to put some tofu in there as well. Now with tofu, it's very boring and it's very plain. You can actually marinate it if you want. And I'm only going to add that to it at the very last minute, otherwise it's going to break up. I'm going to put a bit more of my liquid in there. Now the last thing, which is really important with a curry, is to add all of your other components. So in we go with the fish sauce. I'm also going to put some lime juice in there. Get as much of the juice out as possible. So juice that lime. Okay, now I want to taste this here. So what we'll do in the meantime, I'm going to get these fish cakes out to you, and then what we'll do is we're going to fry off all the rest of it, and then you're going to start having all the food. So if you have any questions, I'll walk around afterwards anyway, and hopefully you've enjoyed the cookery demonstration. There's some fish cakes to start with. Thanks very much.
That orange thing. To mix this.
There you go. And see whether they want more napkins. Pardon?
Stop.
Part rolls, mate.